Assalamu alaikum. Now we are going to discuss the exercise of chapter number 1. Question number 4. What are ions? Under what conditions are they produced? The answer of this question is that the ions can be defined as the species having positive and negative charge and which are formed by the loss or gain of electrons are called as ions. For example, Na positive, K positive, Mg2 positive, CO3 2 negative, SO4 2 negative, Cl negative, Br negative, NH4 positive. Then the conditions, there are 5 conditions for ion formation. Ions can be produced under the following conditions. Number 1, by passing X-rays. X-rays are high energy radiations which strike with the electrons and excite them so much that they are removed from the atoms. Then method number 2, by the bombardment of cathode rays. Cathode rays are beam of electrons traveling with a high velocity. On striking with the electrons of the atoms, these rays knock out the electrons from the atoms and produce ions. Then third method, by heating. By heating, the electrons of the atoms are excited. On strong heating, electrons are removed out of the atom and produce ions. Fourth method, by dissolving in solvents. When ionic compounds are dissolved in solvents, then they dissociate into positive and negative ions. For example, NaCl, which is solid, when mixed in water, it is changed into Na positive and Cl negative ions. Then fifth method, by fusion. When ionic compounds are molten or fused by heating, they produce positive and negative ions. For example, NaCl solid, if it is heated to 801 degrees centigrade, it is changed to Na positive and Cl negative ions. Then question number 5, it has 3 parts. The part A is, what are isotopes? How do you deduce the fractional atomic masses of elements from the relative isotopic abundance? Give 2 examples in support of your answer. Now the answer is that the isotopes are the atoms of the same element which have the same atomic number but different atomic masses are called isotopes. Isotopes of the elements have same chemical properties but different physical properties. For example, hydrogen has 3 isotopes, protium, deuterium and tritium. Atomic number of protium, deuterium and tritium is 1 and atomic mass of protium is 1 while that of deuterium is 2 and for tritium is 3. Chlorine has 2 isotopes, chlorine 35 and 37 and atomic number for both isotopes is 17. Similarly, carbon has also 3 isotopes, carbon 12, 13 and 14. Fractional atomic masses of elements. Atomic masses of elements are calculated by considering the possible number of isotopes and their natural abundance or percentage abundance. Atomic masses of elements are the average of the atomic masses of the other isotopes. Therefore, atomic masses of elements are in fractions. Example 1, chlorine has 2 isotopes, chlorine 35 which is 75% and chlorine 37 which is 25%. Now the average atomic mass can be calculated by the formula atomic mass of first isotope into percentage of that isotope plus atomic mass of second isotope into percentage of that isotope divided by 100. Putting the values in the above formula, 35 into 75 plus 37 into 25 divided by 100, the answer is 35.5. 35.5 AMU is the average atomic mass of the chlorine which is in fraction. Example 2, neon has 3 isotopes, neon 20, 21, 22. The percentage of neon 20 is 90.92 21 0.26 and that of 22 is 8.82. The average atomic mass of neon can be calculated as average atomic mass is equal to 20 into 90.92 plus 21 into 0.26 plus 22 into 8.81 divided by 100, and the answer is 20.18 AMU. So atomic mass of neon is 20.18 AMU, which is also in fraction because average is calculated by considering the number of isotopes and their relative abundances or percentages. Part B of question number 5 of the exercise of chapter number 1. How does mass spectrograph shows the relative abundance of isotopes of an element? The height of the peak in the mass spectrograph shows the relative abundance of isotopes of an element. If the peak is strong, then that isotope will be more abundant and vice versa. For example, consider the graph for neon. Neon has 3 isotopes. The first one with atomic mass 20 has the relative abundance or percentage 90.92. The second one 0.257 and third 22 8.82%. The maximum height is for the peak of mass number 20, which shows that this isotope has maximum abundance as compared to isotopes with mass number 21 and 22. Then part C of the question number 5. What is the justification of 2 strong peaks in mass spectrum for bromine, while for iodine only 1 peak at 127 AMU is indicated? The total number of peaks in the mass spectrum indicates the number of isotopes of that element, while the height of the peak or strength of the peak shows their relative abundance. For bromine, 2 strong peaks in the mass spectrum shows that bromine has 2 isotopes, as both peaks are almost have the same strength, which indicates that both isotopes of bromine are almost have equal abundance. Almost have the equal abundance. But for iodine, only 1 peak at 127 AMU is obtained, which shows that iodine has only 1 isotope with mass number 127 AMU. Because number of peaks shows the number of isotopes and their strength shows the relative abundance. Question number 6. Silver has atomic number 47 and has 16 known isotopes, but 2 occur naturally, silver 107 and silver 109. Given the following mass spectrometric data, calculate the average atomic mass of silver. Isotopes: 107 has 106.90 mass in AMU and the percentage abundance is 51.84. For silver 109, 108.90 and 48.16 is its percentage abundance. Solution: average atomic mass of silver from the given data can be calculated as average atomic mass is equal to 106.90 into 51.84 plus 108.90 into 48.16 divided by 100. 5541.696 plus 5244.624 divided by 100. The answer is 107.8 gram per mole. So average atomic mass of silver is 107.8 gram per mole. Very easy question. Question number 7 of exercise. Boron with atomic number 5 has 2 naturally occurring isotopes. Calculate the percentage abundance of B10 and B11 from the following information. The informations given are average atomic mass of boron is 10.81 AMU, Isotopic mass of B10 is 10.0129 AMU and isotopic mass of B11 is 11.0093 AMU. And we have to calculate the percentage abundance of B10 and B11. Suppose percentage abundance of B10 is X and percentage abundance of B11 is equal to Y. Now the formula for average atomic mass is equal to mass number of one isotope into percentage abundance of that isotope plus mass of second isotope into percentage abundance of that isotope divided by 100. Average atomic mass for boron is given, which is 10.81, and atomic mass of B10 is 10 and its percentage abundance is X, and for B11 atomic mass is 11 and its percentage abundance is Y. Its percentage abundance for B11 is Y and divided by 100. Now take 100 on the left hand side. 10.81 into 100 is equal to 10x plus 11y. Then multiply 100 with 10.81. 1081 is equal to 10x plus 11y, and 10x plus 11y is equal to 1081. This is equation number 1. We know that the sum of the percentage abundance of two isotopes is 100. So x plus y is equal to 100. That is equation number 2. Multiply equation 2 by 10 and subtract from equation 1. So equation 2 will become 10x plus 10y, and equation 1 is 10x plus 11y is equal to 1081, and equation 2 is 10x plus 10y is equal to 1000. Subtract this equation from equation 1. So y is equal to 10x cancel with 10x and y is equal to 81. So y is equal to 81% and x is equal to 100 minus 81 is equal to 19%. So the percentage of B10 is 19% and percentage of abundance of B11 is 81%. Question number 8. Define the following terms and give 3 examples of each. Gram atom, gram molecular mass, gram formula, gram ion, molar volume, Avogadro's number, stoichiometry, percentage yield. Now gram atom. The atomic mass of element expressed in grams is called gram atom. It is equal to 1 mole and contains Avogadro's number of atoms of that element. For example, 23 gram of sodium is equal to 1 gram atom of sodium, which is equal to 1 mole and contains 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 atoms of sodium. Example 2, 12 gram of carbon is equal to 1 gram atom of carbon, which is equal to 1 mole of carbon is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 atoms of carbon. 3, 56 gram of iron is equal to 1 gram atom of iron is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 atoms of iron. Gram molecular mass. The molecular mass of compound expressed in gram is called gram molecular mass of that compound. It is equal to 1 mole and contains Avogadro's number of molecules of that compound. Examples: 18 gram of water is equal to 1 gram molecular mass of water is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 molecules of water. Similarly, 180 gram of glucose is equal to 1 gram molecular mass of glucose is equal to 1 mole, which is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 molecules of glucose. Similarly, 16 gram of methane is equal to 1 gram molecular mass of methane is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 molecules of methane. Gram formula. The formula mass of ionic compounds expressed in gram is called gram formula. It is equal to 1 mole and contains Avogadro's number of formula units of that ionic compound. Examples: 58.5 gram of sodium chloride is equal to 1 gram formula of NaCl is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 formula units of NaCl. 98 gram of H2SO4 is equal to 1 gram formula of H2SO4 is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 formula units of H2SO4. 120 gram of MgSO4 is equal to 1 gram formula of MgSO4 is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 formula units of MgSO4. Then gram ion. The ionic mass of an ionic species expressed in grams is called gram ion. It is equal to 1 mole and contains Avogadro's number of ions of that ionic species. Examples: 17 gram of OH negative ions is equal to 1 gram of an ion of OH negative is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 OH negative ions. 96 gram of SO4 negative 2 ions is equal to 1 gram ion of SO4 2 negative is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 SO4 negative 2 ions. Similarly, 60 gram of CO3 negative 2 ions is equal to 1 gram of ion of carbonate is equal to 1 mole is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 carbonate ions. Then molar volume. The volume occupied by 1 mole of an ideal gas at standard temperature and pressure, that is 0 degree centigrade and 1 atmosphere pressure, is called molar volume. Its value is 22.414 decimeter cube. Examples: 2 gram of H2 is equal to 1 mole of H2 at STP is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 molecules of H2, and its volume is 22.414 decimeter cube of H2. All these volumes are at STP. 16 gram of methane is equal to 1 mole of methane is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 molecules of methane is equal to 22.414 decimeter cube of methane. Then 32 gram of oxygen is equal to 1 mole of oxygen is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 molecules of O2, which is equal to 22.414 decimeter cube of oxygen. Avogadro's number. It is defined as 1 mole of any substance contains 6.022 10 to power 23 particles, where the particles may be atoms, molecules, or ions. It depends upon the nature of the substance that what kind of particles are present. Elements have atoms, molecular compounds have molecules, and ionic compounds have formula units, and ionic species have ions. Examples: 32 gram of sulfur is equal to 1 mole of sulfur, which is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 atoms of sulfur. 18 gram of water is equal to 1 mole of water is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 molecules, because H2O is the molecular compound while sulfur is the element, and element contains atoms. Then NaCl is the ionic compound. 58.5 gram of NaCl is equal to 1 mole of NaCl, and it contains 6.022 10 to power 23 formula units. 35.5 gram of Cl negative is equal to 1 mole of chloride ions and is equal to 6.022 10 to power 23 ions of Cl negative. Stoichiometry. The branch of chemistry which deals with the quantitative relationship between reactants and products in a balanced chemical equation is called stoichiometry. Example 1. Carbon plus oxygen will form carbon dioxide. 12 gram of carbon will react with 32 gram of oxygen to form 44 gram of carbon dioxide. Similarly, example number 2, NH3 plus HCl, NH4Cl. 17 gram of ammonia react with 36.5 gram of HCl to produce 53.5 gram of ammonium chloride. Then example number 3. Magnesium react with HCl to produce MgCl2 plus H2. 24 gram of magnesium react with 73 gram of HCl to form 95 gram of MgCl2 and 2 gram of hydrogen. percentage yield, the ratio of actual yield to the theoretical yield multiplied by 100 is called percentage yield. Percentage yield can be calculated by the following formula. Percentage yield is equal to actual yield over theoretical yield into 100. A chemist is usually interested in the efficiency of a chemical reaction, which can be expressed by comparing actual and theoretical yield in the form of percentage yield. For example, calcium carbonate, when decomposed, give calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. If 4.5 kg of calcium carbonate are taken, then 2.5 kg of calcium oxide is formed, which is actual yield, and theoretical yield is 2.52 kg of calcium oxide is formed. Then we can calculate the percentage yield by the formula. Percentage yield is equal to actual yield over theoretical yield into 100. Actual yield is 2.50 and theoretical yield is 2.52 into 100. So 99.2% is the percentage yield. Question number 9 has 3 parts. Part A is that, and we have to justify the statements. Question number 9 is that justify the following statements. Part A, 23 gram of sodium and 238 gram of uranium have equal number of atoms in them. 23 gram of sodium is equal to 1 gram atom of sodium and is equal to 1 mole, which contains 6.022 10 to the power 23 atoms of sodium. Then 238 gram is the atomic mass of sodium. Uranium, 238 is the atomic mass of uranium, which is equal to 1 gram of atom of uranium is equal to 1 mole and is equal to 6.022 10 to the power 23 atoms of uranium. As 23 gram of sodium is equal to 1 mole and 238 gram of uranium is also equal to 1 mole. Sodium and uranium are elements and 1 mole of an element contains 6.022 10 to the power 23 atoms of that element. Therefore, 23 gram of sodium and 238 gram of uranium have equal number of atoms in them. Then part B of the question number 9, magnesium atom is twice heavier than that of carbon atom. Atomic mass of carbon is taken as standard and its value is 12 AMU. When we compare the atomic mass of magnesium with carbon, then its value comes out to be double than that of the carbon. Atomic mass of carbon is 12 AMU, so atomic mass of magnesium is 24 AMU, which is twice than that of carbon atom. Hence, magnesium atom is twice heavier than that of carbon atom. Atomic mass of carbon is 12 and for magnesium is 24. So magnesium is twice heavier. C part of question number 9. 180 gram of glucose and 342 gram of sucrose have the same number of molecules but different number of atoms present in them. We have to justify this statement. Now 180 gram of glucose is equal to 1 mole, which contains 6.022 10 to the power 23 molecules of glucose, while 342 gram of sucrose is equal to 1 mole, which also contains 6.022 10 to the power 23 molecules of sucrose. As 180 gram of glucose and 342 gram of sucrose are equal to 1 mole of each compound, 1 mole of compound contains 6.022 10 to the power 23 molecules of that compound. Number of atoms in 1 molecule of glucose are 24. So 1 mole contains 24 into 6.022 10 to the power 23 atoms, while number of atoms in 1 molecule of sucrose are 45 atoms. So 1 mole will contain the 45 into 6.022 10 to the power 23 atoms of sucrose. Now when we multiply Avogadro's number with 24 in case of glucose and with 45 in case of sucrose, the number of atoms are different. Next question. D part of question number 9. 4.9 gram of H2SO4 when completely ionized in water have equal number of positive and negative charges, but the number of positively charged ions are twice the number of negatively charged ions. H2SO4 will ionize to form 2H positive and SO4 2 negative ions. Ionization of one formula unit of sulfuric acid produces two hydrogen ions, each carrying unit positive charge. Two hydrogen ions have two positive charge, while one sulfate ion is produced which has two negative charge. Therefore, number of positive and negative charges are equal. But two H positive ions are produced by each H2SO4 and one SO4 ion is produced. Therefore, the number of positive ions are twice than that of negative ions. Part E of question number 9. 1 milligram of potassium chromate has thrice the number of ions than the number of formula units when ionized in water. Potassium chromate ionizes to form two potassium ions and one chromate ions. One formula unit is of potassium chromate produces two positive ions and one negative ion. In this way, the ionization of potassium chromate 2K positive and 1 chromate ions are produced. Total number of ions produced per formula unit of potassium chromate are 3, 2 of potassium and 1 of chromate. Therefore, 1 milligram of potassium chromate has thrice the number of ions than the number of formula units when ionized in water. Then F part of question number 9. 2 grams of hydrogen, 16 grams of methane and 44 grams of carbon dioxide occupy separately the volume of 22.414 decimeter cube, although the sizes and masses of molecules of three gases are very different from each other. Answer is that we know that 1 mole of a gas has volume of 22.414 decimeter cube at STP, that is 0 degree centigrade and 1 atmosphere. As 2 grams of H2 and 16 grams of methane and 44 grams of carbon dioxide have 1 mole of each gas. 2 grams of H2 is equal to 1 mole of H2, which is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 molecules of H2 at STP, and its volume is 22.414 decimeter cube. 16 grams of CH4 is equal to 1 mole of methane is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 molecules of methane, and its volume is also 22.414 decimeter cube. 44 grams of carbon dioxide is equal to 1 mole of carbon dioxide is equal to 6.02 to 10 to the power 23 molecules of carbon dioxide, and its volume is also 22.414 decimeter cube. Now we discuss the relationship between sizes and masses of the molecules and with their volume. Although the sizes and masses of the molecules of the three gases are very different from each other, but they have the same volume because masses and sizes of the molecules don't affect the volumes. It is known that the distance between the molecules is normally 300 times greater than their diameters. So there is no relationship between sizes and masses of molecules with the volume. So their sizes and masses are different, but if the number of moles are equal at STP, then the volume is also equal. Question number 23, A part. What is stoichiometry? Give its assumptions. Mention two important laws which help to perform the stoichiometric calculations. Answer. Stoichiometry, the branch of chemistry which deals with the quantitative relationship between reactants and products in a balanced chemical equation, is called stoichiometry. Its assumptions are: when stoichiometric calculations are performed, we assume that all the reactants are completely converted into products. Number 2, no side reaction occurs. Number 3, the law of conservation of mass and law of definite proportion are obeyed. Laws, the two important laws which help to perform the stoichiometric calculations are law of conservation of mass and law of definite proportion. Part B of question number 23. What is limiting reactant? How does it control the quantity of product formed? Explain with 3 examples. Limiting reactant. The reactant which controls the amount of products in a chemical reaction due to its lesser amount or early consumption is called a limiting reactant, or it can be defined as the reactant which gives the least number of moles of the product is called limiting reactant. How limiting reactant control the quantity of product? Generally, in a chemical reaction, the exact stoichiometric amounts of the reactant is not used. It is found that usually some reactants are used in excess. In such cases, the amount of product obtained depends upon the reactant which has completely used in the reaction. This reactant is limiting reactant, and in this way it controls the amount of product formed in a chemical reaction. Examples. Example number 1. 2 mole of H2 react with 1 mole of O2 to produce 2 moles of water. When we take 2 moles of hydrogen and 2 moles of oxygen, then 2 moles of hydrogen react with 1 mole of oxygen to form 2 moles of water. 1 mole of oxygen remains unreacted, which is shown in the balanced chemical equation, and hydrogen is completely consumed, so hydrogen is a limiting reactant. Example number 2. 2 mole of NaOH react with 1 mole of H2SO4 to produce 1 mole of Na2SO4 and 2 moles of water. If we take 2 moles of sodium hydroxide and 2 moles of H2SO4, then 1 mole of H2SO4 will react with 2 moles of NaOH, and 1 mole of H2SO4 will remain unreacted. As sodium hydroxide is completely consumed, so it is limiting reactant. Example number 3. 2 mole of sodium metal react with 1 mole of chlorine to produce 2 mole of NaCl. If we take 2 moles of sodium and 2 moles of chlorine, then 1 mole of chlorine will left unreacted, while 2 moles of sodium will completely react. So sodium is limiting reactant. Question number 24 of exercise of chapter number 1. Define yield. How do we calculate the percentage yield of a chemical reaction? Yield. The amount of product obtained in a chemical reaction is called yield. Amount of required product which is obtained in a chemical reaction is called as yield. It is of two types: theoretical yield, actual yield. Now percentage yield. The percentage yield can be calculated by dividing actual yield with theoretical yield and multiplying with 100. Mathematical formula for percentage yield is equal to actual yield over theoretical yield into 100. Part B of question number 24. What are the factors which are mostly responsible for the low yield of the products in chemical reactions? The following factors are responsible for low yield. Number 1. The mechanical loss of the products during process like filtration, washing, drying, distillation, crystallization, etc. Number 2. Side reactions may occur. Number 3. Reactions may be reversible. Number 4. The whole quantity of the reactants may not react. Number 5. You can say reactants may be impure. Question number 25 of exercise of chapter number 1. Explain the following with reasons. Law of conservation of mass has to be obeyed during stoichiometric calculations. The answer is that in stoichiometric we study the quantitative relationship between reactants and products in a balanced chemical equation. The equations are balanced when we consider that mass can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be changed from one form to another form. For example, 2 KOH plus H2SO4, K2SO4 plus 2H2O, 112 gram of KOH, 98 gram of H2SO4, 174 gram of K2SO4 and 36 gram of H2O. So the total mass of the reactants is 210 gram and the total mass of products is also 210 gram. 112 plus 98 is 210 and 174 plus 36 is also 210 gram. It is clear from the above example that the amount of the reactants is 210 gram and the amount of products is also 210 gram. So the law of conservation of mass has to be obeyed during stoichiometric calculations. Many chemical reactions taking place in our surrounding involve the limiting reactant. Many chemical reactions in our surrounding involve the limiting reactant because one of the reactants is consumed earlier and control the amount of products, which is called limiting reactant. Examples: burning of natural gas in which methane is limiting reactant, CH4 plus 2O2, CO2 plus 2H2O. Then burning of coal in which coal is limiting reactant, C plus O2, CO2. In lightning, nitrogen react with oxygen and form the oxides of nitrogen. Nitrogen is in excess, that is 78% in air, then oxygen which is 21% in air. So oxygen is a limiting reactant in this example. So these are the several examples, few examples involving in our surroundings, which involve the taking place in our surrounding, which involve the limiting reactants. Third question of question number 25 of exercise of chapter number 1. No individual neon atom in the sample of element has a mass of 20.18 AMU. Neon has 3 isotopes, neon 10 atomic number and 20 atomic mass, neon 20 90.92%, neon 21 0.26%, neon 22 8.82%. Average atomic mass can be calculated as average atomic mass is equal to 20 into 90.92 plus 21 into 0.26 plus 22 into 8.82 divided by 100. The answer is 20.18 AMU. This is the average atomic mass of the neon. So no individual neon atom in the sample of the element has a mass of 20.18 AMU because it's the average atomic mass. 20.18 AMU is the average atomic mass of the sample of neon, which depends upon the number of possible isotopes and their natural abundance. Therefore, no individual neon atom in the sample has 20.18 AMU. Question number 4, part 4 of question number 25 of the exercise of chapter number 1. 1 mole of H2SO4 should completely react with 2 moles of sodium hydroxide. How does Avogadro's number help to explain it? H2SO4 ionizes in water as 2H positive ion and 1 SO4 2 negative ions, and NaOH ionizes in water as Na positive ion and OH negative ions. To equalize the number of H positive ions and OH negative ions, multiply equation 2 with 2. H2SO4 plus 2 NaOH, then Na2SO4 plus 2 H2O. 1 mole of H2SO4 produces 2 moles of H positive ions, that is 2 into 10 to power 2 into 6.02 to 10 to power 23 H positive ions. Thus, it requires 2 moles of OH negative ions, that is 2 into 6.02 to 10 to power 23 OH negative ions for complete neutralization. While 1 mole of sodium hydroxide produces 1 mole of OH negative ions, that is Avogadro's number 6.02 to 10 to power 23 OH negative ions. Therefore, 2 moles of sodium hydroxide are required for 1 mole of H2SO4 for complete neutralization, since 6.02 to 10 to power 23 is Avogadro's number, which help to explain it. Question number 25, fifth part of question number 25. 1 mole of H2O has 2 moles of bonds, 3 moles of atoms, 10 moles of electrons, and 28 moles of total fundamental particles present in it. Explain it. Explain it. Answer is that the structural formula of water is O. Oxygen has 2 lone pair of electrons and bonded with 2 hydrogen atoms. 1 mole of water has moles of bonds 2. Hydrogen atom has 1 electron and 1 proton, while no neutrons. Oxygen atom has 8 electrons, 8 protons and 8 neutrons. So number of bonds in one water molecule are 2, so 2 moles. 1 mole of water has oxygen atoms 1 mole, hydrogen atoms 2 moles, total atoms 3, 1 of oxygen and 2 of hydrogen. Number of electrons 10, 8 electrons in oxygen and 1 electron in 1 hydrogen. Hydrogen atoms are 2, so 2 electrons are there. And 1 mole of total particles 28, because hydrogen has 1 electron and 1 proton in nucleus, so 2 hydrogen has total 2 electrons and 2 protons, while oxygen has 8 electrons, 8 protons and 8 neutrons, so total are 28. So 1 mole of water has 2 moles of bonds, 3 moles of atoms, 10 moles of electrons and 28 moles of particles. Sixth part of question number 25 of exercise of chapter number 1. N2 and CO, mean nitrogen and carbon monoxide, have same number of electrons, protons and neutrons. Answer is that N2 consists of 2 nitrogen atoms. The number of electrons in 2 nitrogen atoms is 14. In carbon monoxide, 1 carbon has 6 electrons and 1 oxygen has 8 electrons, and total electrons are also 14. Similarly, other particles are also same, which can be explained as nitrogen is equal to 7 protons, 7 neutrons, 7 electrons. N2 14 protons, 14 neutrons and 14 electrons. Carbon 6 protons, 6 neutrons and 6 electrons, and oxygen 8 protons, 8 neutrons and 8 electrons. In carbon monoxide 14 proton, 14 neutron, 14 electrons. Thus N2 and CO, mean nitrogen and carbon monoxide, have same number of electrons, protons and neutrons. This was all about the exercise of chapter number 1, which is very important, and we have discussed all the questions of the exercise, which are either long or short. We have not solved the numericals of this exercise. Numericals will be explained in an other lecture or other lecture, another video, you can say. If you have not subscribed to my channel, then subscribe the channel for further videos, and your comments are also very important for me. Lectures will be uploaded according to your requirement. So comment about this lecture and subscribe the channel for further lectures.